Hi guys, just having a sappy moment as I sit here putting together my daughter's big girl bed for her birthday. Thinking about kids, thinking about parenthood, thinking about relationships, and just how crazy life gets sometimes. I never ever thought that I, of all people, would be a single parent. I have a father, a stepfather, a birth mother, three stepmothers, three stepmothers, three stepbrothers, and two half-sisters. So to say that I longed for a stable relationship that was going to last my entire life would be appropriate. I didn't want to have to deal with shared holidays, visitations. I didn't want to do any of that. And yet here I am. I find myself being a single mother, exhausted, realizing that I don't want to do it alone, but that I'd much rather do it alone than be stuck in a toxic relationship. And I think a lot of people have so much fear about being alone that they stay in terrible, terrible relationships. In fact, I've seen it. I see it all of the time. And I'm not sure what scares me more. The fact that they would rather be with somebody that they don't actually like, who isn't supportive and loving, both ways, men and women, okay? Don't think I'm being picky. I'm not. It's heartbreaking. You know, I would like to think that almost everyone goes into every relationship thinking, this is the one. This is the one that I want to be with. And then, you know, once they learn, they find out new things. Perhaps they realize, okay, well, you know, I've changed as a person. My partner has changed as a person. I need to be honest and let them know that my needs have changed. And, you know, if we can't compromise, that it's better for both of us to move forward in our lives. You know, but when people have kids young, you feel stuck. I get it. I totally get it. And I had kids late. You know, I'm going to be 36 this year. And Dean is 4. So, yeah, I had kids pretty darn late. And I never really had planned on having kids. Of course, I was always told I was going to have kids. But I just was like, no, right now, not yet. I got stuff to do. You know, I got life to live. Because it really, everyone says your life changes. Well, yeah. Because it's not your life anymore. It's their lives. And you're just a magic part of it. You're the fairy godmother that makes things happen, that makes canopy beds appear for birthdays, that makes playgrounds appear. That's the next big one. And then, you know, birthday parties magically happen. But no, I never, ever thought that I would be a single divorced parent. Never. It's heartbreaking. It really, really is. And every time that I'm like, you know, I don't want to do this alone, this sucks, I remind myself that even when I was in a relationship, I was still doing it alone. But there was a lot more fighting, a lot more yelling, and it's exhausting. And then I'm like, you know what? Doing it alone really isn't that bad. I'm okay. I can totally do this. So for every bad moment I have, I just have to remember the worst moments. Yeah, but you know, freedom has a price, and I'd much rather build the bed that I picked without any argument, and have no yelling. When I raise my voice, it's to sing, to laugh, to holler at the dogs fussing. I don't yell anymore. I'm not angry. I love that. I love that feeling of not being angry, because being angry and frustrated and stressed just exhausts me. Just completely exhausts me mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Totally exhausts me. So please know that if you're in a situation, get out. Or, you know, have open and honest discussions. I find that people are terrified to talk to their partners. Then why are you with someone if you're terrified to tell them how you're feeling, if you're upset? What? That doesn't make sense to me at all. You should be with your best friend. And if you can't tell your best friend how you're feeling, something's wrong. I had someone close to me confess to me that they wanted out of the relationship. And they were like, what do I do? And I was like, well, my ex cheated and completely escaped the relationship through burying himself in work. Other people basically stayed away, ignored us, played video games, escapism. That's the word I was looking for. Escapism. He's escapism. A lot of people drink. Some people just leave. They mentally and emotionally clock out of a relationship, and I mean, you know, they're still there, but they don't do anything. I see that a lot. And I told her, I'm like, go to marriage therapy, go to couples counseling. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. I wish more people would do that. I wish that was more socially acceptable. That even, you know, once a year, twice a year, couples go on a vacation and you go see a therapist while you're in Bermuda, you know? You say, yeah, this year we've really struggled with balancing the kids and romance in our life, you know? It's usually not just one partner. It's usually both partners, except one of them is so exhausted from doing everything, they don't have the energy to even think romantical thoughts. You know, that's one of the big ones when kids arrive. The other one is kind of losing yourself in kids. You know, obviously, the babies, the smaller kids, the toddlers, they get you full time, especially before they start going to school. They need you more. They're less independent. They don't know how to do things. But it is a phase. And that's what, you know, I tell myself when things get really hard because they're both young. You know, they're both still in diapers. You know, I have to remind myself, it's just a phase. It's just a phase. In a few more years, we'll be laughing about all this goofy stuff that I was stressed out over, you know? It's just a phase. But when you're in the midst of it, when you're in the trenches, the parent trenches, I totally get it. It feels just overwhelming. Please know it's a phase. And, you know, if we want parents to survive this together, we need to be more supportive of seeking help. You know, it's like a mental health crisis. If we were more supportive of people seeking help, there wouldn't be as much craziness. I promise you. So please, if you're a couple or you're a partner in a relationship, please seek counseling. Please. When we sought counseling, it was already too late. It was. And it was funny because the guy had told me, he was like, you know, you seem, when we did it separately, we did it together and then we did it separately for a while until I stopped going. But I kept going because I needed it. I needed to figure out what was going on, basically, and how I move forward in a healthy mind frame, because I didn't want to be my father's ex-wives, basically. Seeing people so buried in anger and hurt and resentment showed me that I didn't want to be that person. And I understand that's a phase, and I've been through it, and it was very difficult. But I'm ecstatically happy in comparison now, honestly. And I'm really glad I sought therapy. And it was expensive because insurance didn't cover the local person that we went to. And he didn't want to pay for anybody else, so we went to a specific person. You can go to people that, if you don't want your insurance to cover it, just costs a little more. Okay, so if you can compromise with that, please do. Or go to insurance. They have people that pay on sliding scales depending on what you make too. So if you have kids, you know, you pay less. It's okay. Ask for help. Ask. So when I went, he was like, it seems like you already know what you want, and that's just not part of his plan. And it's like, yeah, pretty much. I mean, I knew that I wanted the country home with the homestead, the chickens, the gardens. That was my wants, and he had said at the time that he wanted that too. But obviously through actions, if you're not helping, if you're not taking care of anything on the homestead, I was literally doing everything. Literally, I was doing everything. Taking care of the chickens, taking care of the kids, mowing, weeding, helping out at the farm, dealing with daycare, dealing with Dean's autism services. I did it all. But that gave me strength, knowing that if I left, I'd already done it all. So I was just doing it all somewhere different, in a healthier space. Yes. So actions. It taught me that actions very much speak louder than words, because when people tell me things, I believe them. I wouldn't call it gullible. I call it trusting. And I am having, I do have some trust issues, but really, who wouldn't? I think at this, really, if you've made it to like 30 without having trust issues, throw yourself a party. Throw yourself a party. But hey, life happens, dude. People are going to hurt you. Probably not your fault. But, you know, karma might be your fault. My point through all of this being, if you decide to have kids, know that they will be your life. Period. End of conversation. You'll probably feel guilty about that. That's okay. If you have the opportunity to become a single parent, it's difficult. Honestly, it's hard. And a lot of the time I just look around and I'm like, dude, you have to have a partner. You have to have a support, even if it's a friend who comes over to spend time with you, even if it's your parents that help out a little bit. You know, you got to have some kind of support system to be a successful single parent and stay sane. Little caveat, and stay sane. It is tough. It is very tough. If you're a partner in a partnership that maybe isn't doing as well as you would like it to be, please seek help. Please, 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 please. Because I want all of my friends to be successful in their relationships. And, you know, it's hard sometimes when you're having communication problems. Going to therapy helps you communicate better. It may seem silly, but the fact that you're doing it together is building your relationship. Yeah. What else? Just because I'm a medium doesn't make life easy. A lot of people assume that. They're like, why don't you have, you know, a mansion in the hills and, you know, I don't know, do nothing. Because that's boring as crap. I'm supposed to be in the trenches, doing my work, helping people out, showing people that even though when life is hard, you can totally do it. Positive outlook. Not all the time. Some days are harder than others. Then you just need some gangster rap. You'll be fine. But there are always those moments, you know, putting together the big birthday presents, you know, the big girl bed. She's getting a frozen bed. It's going to fit under there across my fingers. Measured again. I hope it fits. And then the big playground for the courtyard. So, you know, but reality is, even though I don't want to do it alone, it's entirely possible to do it alone. Duh. And if you can't be happy alone, you're never going to be happy with a partner. Gotcha? All right. I love you guys. Have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.